I just finished watching Secret Levels episode of They Shall Know No Fear. The 3 Blade Guard veterans that are accompanying Titus, walking through this planet, fighting Chaos Warriors, bashing through vehicles, popping skulls with their fists, hammering down spines, hacking and slashing their way through hundreds of bodies, was a visual feast I've been waiting for many years. I don't typically talk about Space Marines, and if I do, it's Blood Angels. It's not Ultramarines specifically. So the fact that I'm making a video about this shows the impact that this 19-minute short film that's part of an anthology of the Secret Level series on Amazon Prime Video, it gave me chills. It gave me goosebumps. It gave me a feeling of, we are now at this stage where we're watching entertainment at a level that is the same as Lord of the Rings, the same as Star Wars, the same as what you would expect to see produced out of Hollywood, which is a strange disconnect in my mind, because when I think of Warhammer, I think of it as its own thing in its own area of entertainment sphere. I don't think of it in the same clumping together with all the rest of the stuff that I typically engage in a show on Netflix or going to the movies, at the cinema. And I gotta be honest, I skipped straight to the episode. I didn't watch the rest of the Secret Level yet. I am interested though. I wanna watch the Dungeons and Dragons episode. And you can't screen capture it. You can't do any of that for good reason. They don't want you they don't want it to be online and for it to be leaked to places. They want you to sign up to Prime Video and to watch it, which makes sense. It's all part of the show business. I get it. In this case, I actually support that because of how awesome it is. I had an emotional reaction as I was watching it. I had mixed emotional reaction. One was, okay, this is just completely badass and I'm loving every second of it. 2, it was, I can't believe I'm watching this on a platform that's not Warhammer Plus and that's not fan-made from the community. And all of that is done at a certain caliber, and it as well is its own thing, separate and outside of what I would typically expect to see. And granted, just because something is made and it's made out of Hollywood proper or traditionally as one would expect, it's not always good. In fact, it is kind of rare that it meets our expectation for what we desperately want it to be. I find myself holding back tears. I suppose joy's the word. Like it's like, well done. Series created by Tim Miller. Tim, make more. That's what I say. Make more. I want to see more. Teleplay by JT Petty and Justin Rhodes. Adaptation is phenomenal. I enjoyed how much of the storytelling required very little dialogue to actually follow along and to see what was happening. Most of the story is told through action, as it should have been. And yes, I'm a Chaos player. I didn't mind that these Ultramarines were fighting Chaos and that Chaos were dying. I didn't mind it. It gave me a newfound respect for the Ultramarines, seeing them go through and just be completely badass doing this. Spoiler alert, the Tzeentch sorcerer that they run into later on and the power depicted was flawless. That gave me true chills. They made fantastic use of slow motion and sound to depict the raw power of the Chaos God Tzeentch. Typically, I'm a Khorne fanboy all day long, but seeing Tzeentch represented in this way, after they were fighting the Zangors with the fluorescent blood and the bloody footprints following them as they mowed through those guys, which was a fantastic visual display, I might add. That was a very cool way of showing another stage of the progression of the mission they were on to locate and identify this Chaos relic. It was just super cool. And I love seeing the way in which they interacted with the environment. There was a specific scene where they were sliding down a cliff, and as they all jumped off, the sound of the weight of the armor falling through air felt physical. It felt, you could feel the weight of that power armor descending through the air and impacting the vertical side of that cliff face and going into another realm of gravity where they just end up walking straight. It was either that or the camera angle, I don't know. In either case, it looked awesome. It just looked really cool. But that's how my eyes interpreted that whole thing, and it made me nervous, and I was in awe at the same time as I saw that. And I wish I could do a side-by-side display of what I'm actually talking about, but you're gonna have to watch the episode in order to fully grasp the whole experience, which I highly recommend doing, especially if you're a Warhammer fan. Just watch the episode. If you have Prime, watch it. If you don't have Prime, this is not a sponsored video at all. Like, I happen to have Prime and just watch the episode, but if you don't, do a trial and watch it. Support the thing that you want more of. That would be my recommendation for this. One of the rare instances where the whole mechanism that is show business, and we know exactly what we're engaging in, to support that so that we can escape to this world that we escape to in our imaginations anyway, yes, I would say buy a ticket to this show. That'd be my recommendation. I will say that unapologetically, with no strings attached. Just watch and see for yourself. For those who have seen the episode, let me know your thoughts down below. When it comes to the lore and the specific references that were made in the episode, there are going to be undoubtedly lore masters that will identify specific things. I'm gonna call out Baldermort. I'm sure Baldermort's gonna say something. Luton as well. Sandman of Terra. I am requesting you guys to explain these things. I think it would be really cool. But the one thing I'll say is it was neat seeing the progression of Blade Guard Sergeant recruiting Titus from a young age, identifying him as a young boy who never had fear in him to begin with, and seeing him mature into the lieutenant that he would become, and witnessing what he was capable of in terms of his raw, violent, destructive power as the Space Marine that he is. I look forward to seeing Henry Cavill's series. That's an obvious statement. There's been a recent update that Henry has made on his Instagram and on the Warhammer community, so I recommend checking that out as well. Still coming down from it, actually. I turned the lights off, watched the episode. It was a nice, kind of fully immersive experience. Every little bit of visual, every little bit of sound was fully absorbed, as it should have been. There was no distractions anywhere, and I'm gonna be watching it again. And again, I'll be watching it a few times. I can't wait to show my boys at home. I've shown them a number of animations, Space Marine animations, and they loved them. And this is just, to me, it automatically passes that rule of cool test. If you know nothing about the franchise, if you know nothing about Space Marines, if this was the first thing that you saw, it would be like, yeah, I want to see more and I want to know more about that. It'd be an easy test passed. I'm Mini Wargamer Dave, and this is my initial reaction to Episode 5, Secret Level, and They Shall Know No Fear.